I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me.
What up, good people? Welcome to Paternal Presence Podcast. I'm your host, Ron. I got another dope dad, and you're not gonna believe this. Another Sigma, another one. There's just so many of them. Just make dope dads, dope people. You know, most of my guests is, to me, they're celebrities because they're dope people, and most of my guests either Sigmas or comedians. So it is what it is. This is my frat brother from my chapter. I don't want to call him old head, but he's a big bro. He's a big bro. This is my brother, Mr. Abdullah Rahman. What's up, frat?
What's up? How y'all doing, people?
I appreciate you getting on here. This is a busy gentleman, his own podcast stuff going on. So he's a busy guy too. Is say how we met. As far as fraternities, okay, let's say like this. As far as my fraternity, my chapter, coming into the process of becoming a member, you have to learn about the members who came in before you. So I've learned about him, and this was I pledged what almost 30-something years ago. So I learned about him about 30-something years ago, but I just met him like 2 months ago. So to put a face with a name, and then when I met him, all good vibes. You know what I mean? To me, it just clicked. Like, this motherfucker is cool. This dude's dope. You know what I mean? Like, I enjoyed being around you in the reunion.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. It was a quick vibe in your LBs.
Yeah, the same thing when meeting all the new brothers that are younger than me in the fraternity.
Yeah,
so that was
cool. Yeah. It's just so weird. Like, just meeting a stranger, you're under the same umbrella, and y'all just click right away. Beautiful
Definitely.
Thing. But I'm gonna jump right into it. You know what it is. So tell me, how was it growing up with your pops?
Well, I didn't grow up with my father. I was a single. I was raised by single moms.
Okay.
My father wasn't in my life, but I had like other men that would be like. Remember the old boys and girls, big brothers and big sisters.
Yeah, they still got that. Yeah.
I had that, and I also had like my martial arts teacher. So I had men in my life, but not my father, because my father, like I sent you in the synopsis, my father was a part of the Black Panther Party, New York City, and he got caught up in that situation, and he was like 45 years. So we didn't grow up. I didn't grow up with him, but a lot of the stuff that I learned about him and people telling me stuff, I picked it up. And what's funny is I tell people all the time, you should be aware of who you have children with, because the DNA tends to still be in the children. And I act like my father and never spent time with him. And I also have a brother. I have a brother that I didn't know about who lives in Colorado, and he acts like me, and we act like our father, and neither one of us grew up around him.
The genes are strong.
Yes.
The genes are strong. I a firm believer in that. And by reading the synopsis that you sent me, when you said it was the Black Panther, I was like, this makes sense now. The way you get down, I was like, this makes sense. But I totally agree. I think like my son, just as far as like the DNA, I think it's very important, because like with my son, when wifey was pregnant, I was reading books. I wanted to be on point. I just wanted to be on point. So I'm reading books, doing my best. And I heard that women go through like postpartum and everything, and the depression and all that. So I was kind of worried about that. And she was always in a great mood the whole time. The pregnancy like did a lot. The pregnancy for her was positive compared to most women who, get blotches on their skin, gain weight. Was a mess. She looked beautiful, hair grew out longer. It looked like pretty much she kept the same size because she's petite, but it looked just like she's had a basketball under her shirt. So she kept the same size. And like I said, she was in a good mood. So my son comes out, this kid always in a good mood. I mean, we used to wake him up in the morning. Not now, he's 7, not now. But we wake up in the morning, he wake up smiling. You know what I'm saying? So I believe definitely good energy and good vibes that goes into the DNA too.
Most definitely.
But so you guys never built a relationship? Did you ever get a chance to talk to him? What was that like?
What happened was in my life, I think, I guess I was around him a little bit when I was like, how you say, like 1, 2, maybe 3, but I can't remember that kind of stuff.
Not at all. Nah.
The only times I do remember is back in the day, my mother was dealing with someone else, and the other guy was incarcerated. So my father was in the same prison as my mother's new husband.
Okay.
And I met my pops there, and my pops was like, "Yo, I'm your dad," and everything was weird. Like a dude rolled up on me talking about he's my dad. So I ran back to my mom and was like, "Yo, this guy said he's my dad." So that was like a big, situation. And like, that's the only time I met him for that time. And then I finally found him years later, thanks to Google. Okay. People used to always say, "Yo, search him up, find him. If he's a Black Panther, they should have some kind of information on him." So for years before the Google came out, I couldn't really find him. But then as soon as I got that smartphone, I was like, okay, I'm going to throw his name in here, see if it pop up. Lo and behold, bam, he pops up, an article about him being locked up, the whole nine. And my ex-wife, I got an ex now, but we cool now. Back in the day, we had our ups and downs.
Of course. But
she always had my back. So I was like, and she was a good writer. She do poetry and all that. So I was like, do me a favor, yo. See if that's him, like write the prison or something, figure out if that's him or not. So she wrote the letter. He wrote back, said, "Definitely, I'm your father." Boom, boom. Wow. And we connected. He called my sister. I got a sister and a brother by my father that I never knew. I didn't grow up with them or nothing. So she calls and she was like, "This your sister?" And I was, "Oh, word." And then we start talking a little bit. She introduced me to my brother, who lives in Colorado. And then my father got the number, and we just started talking back and forth. And that's how I started learning that we were so similar. It was crazy how, like I said, I didn't grow up with him at all. He didn't have no time to develop me as a man. Uh-huh. But all of the things in his head was in my head, being like wanting to help our people, wanted to be involved with stuff. Yeah. And even when I was online, frat, I told frat when we was online, my pops is a Black Panther. I had to write a little article and stuff about it. And brothers at long time was like, "Yeah, he say," most people say, "Yeah, you're fan. Yeah, he in the Black Panthers. Yeah. Everybody say that."
Yeah, the way you move, yep.
Yeah, so then it all came out, and we started talking, and we stayed in contact until he passed away. And I think it was like 2021 he passed.
Oh,
yeah.
Recent, well, not recent, but that's 3 years ago. Exactly. Wow.
Because what's crazy is my kids got connected with him. He came. Now people think I'm crazy for this, but I went to my ex-wife's new wedding to her new husband. I went to the wedding.
That's different. I ain't gonna say it's crazy. It's different.
Yeah, because those people. But she invited my father there. So if it wasn't for her inviting my father to the wedding, we would have never met physically in person. We just would have been talking on the phone. But when we met in person, when we met in person, you know how you say I got a good vibe. My pops, same vibe. He was vibing out with everybody. Everybody was cool with him. And, they took him as a celebrity because my wife's into the whole Afrocentric, the whole, Black power movement, things like that. Sure. And they were just loving the fact that, my ex-husband's father was a part of the Black Panthers. So, but he was just cool with it. He was just like having a good time, relaxing, and getting to know everybody. He got we had a dinner with him, me and my kids. I got little pictures of that. But that was like the time we got to kick it. We talked on the phone and stuff like that. But we didn't get to spend a lot of time together.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting. And funny, you're not the first person who had a pops was a Black Panther on my podcast. So you're number 2.
All right, that's what's up.
All right, so you said you'll come as your mentors, big brothers, big sisters, and you said you took I'm sorry, I don't want to say the wrong martial
Go ahead.
arts. No, I did. Definitely. You took karate. What was the martial arts you took?
Hey, I would tell you what, like my Sifu used to say, we are not taking karate. We are taking kung fu. So I did kung fu, southern Shaolin.
Yeah, all right. So that means nobody fucks with you like that. But I hear you. But you said he was a mentor to you too.
Exactly. Yeah.
And just assuming Asian.
No, he was a brother. Because you gotta remember in the 70s, Black people was big into karate, kung fu, any type of Asian background. And it was funny. My teacher was a Black brother, and his teacher was a Black brother who actually went overseas and studied. I think he did it when he was in the military or something like that. But that's how they kept it connected. It was all Black people, martial arts, kung fu school. I think it was in Brooklyn somewhere because I lived in the Bronx, and I think I would have to travel to Brooklyn to go study with my teacher.
I know you from the BX.
Yeah, well, I'm actually from Queens, but I grew up in the Bronx.
All good, all good. So coming up, Mom Duke's holding down. Are you the only child with Mom Duke's?
Nah, I'm the oldest. I'm the oldest of 6 with my mom, and I'm the oldest of 3 of my father.
Okay, all right, all right.
Yeah.
Oh, the oldest. Yep, I'm oldest as well. All right. So being the oldest, are you father figure for your siblings
You know what's
at the
funny?
time?
I was more like I was the older brother, but my sister that's right up under me, she was the mom of the family of the
Gotcha.
kids. When I would go hang out with my sister and people would meet, they'd be like, I thought she was the oldest, because the way she took charge of stuff. Like
Took
me,
care
I'm
of
just
it.
like how you say, I was like kind of the muscle,
Yeah,
basically.
yeah. No question.
But I let her do all of everything. But then if they was getting out of hand, I'd be like, yo, listen to your sister, that type of thing.
Got it. Got it. So fast forward, you're having your first kid. Are you surprised, excited, nervous? How you feeling?
I definitely was excited. I guess I was excited because I got married. See, I tried to do it the right way. I didn't have my first kid until I was 35 years old. And I got married to my ex-wife, because I'm Muslim. So even though I was wilding, we was in college wilding and everything and having a good time, sleeping with the ladies and all that. But it's not in the practice of basically any religion. We ain't supposed to do it outside of marriage.
Yeah.
So when I met my ex-wife, I was like, okay, we're gonna get married, we're gonna be married, and then she got pregnant. I had my first son. I was excited because of my first kid,
Yeah.
So that definitely was a good thing.
First kid was a boy, girl?
Oh, it was a boy. It was
Okay.
definitely a boy.
And did you have did you want either a boy or girl? Did you prefer
Oh
one over
yeah.
the other?
Oh no. What's wild about it is I tell people, watch what you ask God for. I don't care how old you are when you ask God stuff. You gotta be mindful what you ask for. Because I had to be like 7 or 8 years old. And I was like, God, when I have kids, I want to have 2 boys first, and I want to have a girl last, so the brothers can take care of their sister.
Yeah, yeah,
And
yeah.
that's exactly how it felt.
Okay. Yeah, the plan early.
Yeah. So I got 2 boys. I got 2 boys and a daughter. Plus, I got a bonus son,
Okay.
which my ex-wife already had a son.
Uh-huh.
So God looked out even more. She has 3 brothers above her, and then God even looked out even more because my ex-wife, the husband she married, he got about 4 or 5 boys. It's like she's the only girl. Like it's all boys ahead of her. So
yeah.
anybody trying to holler at her, they got to come correct.
Yeah. Nah, you don't want them problems. She cute, but I don't want brothers. Yeah, I know. I could only imagine. So did fatherhood come easy for you? Did you feel confident or you comfortable?
Yeah, I think what it is like I tell everybody, I became a father late, like 35, and like our frat brother Terrell, number 1 that was on my line, he always say you really become a man at 40. Right? So I was only 5 years from 40, so I think I was definitely mature.
Okay.
I understood what I needed to do, so I was ready for it. I say if I'd had my kid at 21,
of course,
I probably would have been a knucklehead,
Yeah, and Fred, I'm with you. I was actually older. I had my son at 41. I was nervous in a way, excited, nervous, but at the same time, like you said, at 41, you have a kid. Your mind says, "Oh, great, I get to mold somebody." At 21, you like, "I need a job, so I get some Pampers." You know what I'm saying? Your focus is a little different. When you're older and mature, you know your voice, you know what you want. Is a lot different.
Definitely. And I tell people, like, when you're young, you're still chasing skirts. You still having a lot of fun. Your mind is not developed yet to take on that responsibility. But as good men, even if you do that young, you try to be responsible and do the right thing. Yes, but sir. I think as you get older, you have a lot more maturity. You have a lot more world experience. So you learn. It's easier for you to do what you need to do. So
True. Yeah. Like I said, just seeing like 21 is like I have to. At 41 is like I get to. It's definitely a blessing in that case. Um, so what did having kids teach you about yourself?
um I'm so used to being unemotional, like when it comes to other people,
Uh-huh.
like I can talk to you, you ain't really tripping on me. I don't really trip too much. But when I have my kids, I got love for them so much that they could push my buttons all the time,
Yeah.
because of the love I got for them.
Yeah.
And also making sure that I'm setting an example for them, not doing stuff I shouldn't be doing. Because I learned that kids watch you at the smallest ages. And what they see, there are certain things that they will put in their own life that you don't even know that they put in their life. So you got to pay attention to show them good examples and not a whole bunch of negative examples. So that's why I learned to just be mindful of your behavior and what you say and what you do, with your
Definitely.
kids.
Definitely. Because I swear that I was telling somebody the other day on the last episode that you be trying to be this perfect character in front of your kid, but they don't even pick that up. They know something you did, like kind of like it could be something random. Like I notice how you kiss mommy every time you come to the house and hug her and show her love.
Mhm.
Real small thing that you're not thinking nothing of it, but the thing that you're specifically trying to make example of to show them, they're not even paying attention to that. But it's the little things that you think they don't see.
Exactly, definitely. That is so true. Like, and we take that for granted. We think,
You do.
oh, if I show her Superman, she ain't paying attention to Clark Kent. you know?
True, true.
Yeah.
That's perfect way of breaking it down too. Can you
Yeah.
tell me like what's a like you ever had like a mess up moment where you just feel like, damn, I kind of dropped the ball on that. Like I messed up as far as teaching or whatever it may be, dealing with your son or daughter.
It's funny you say that one because it goes right into, like I said, you got to pay attention to what you say. I used to take my grandfather as a good example of what a man's supposed to do.
Go.
And one day, me, my daughter, and my sons were sitting down having a powwow because I believe in talking to my kids and seeing where their mind is and where
Gotcha.
where I'm coming from and how I'm coming. I used to hate that line. Why I got to do it? Because I said so. I hated that. You
Yeah.
know. So I try to explain why I do what I do. So one day we were talking, and I told my daughter, I said, "I'm the type. If you don't mess with me, it ain't gonna be no skin off my back. So I'm gonna keep moving, right?
Hmm.
Not thinking how, because my daughter loves me. My ex-wife's like, man, your daughter. This is what my ex-wife says. Your daughter is like your number one cheerleader.
That's
And
good.
when you told her that her not being in your life won't even bother you, that bothered her. And it did. I didn't mean it in that way. I was trying to be like the strong father because my
Yeah.
grandfather was like, if you're messing up, I'm not going for nonsense. So I'm not going to mess with you. So it was more of trying to be strong so that you
Be
could
like,
fix yourself.
just to be like
But
them.
she didn't understand it from that point of view. So I had to
Hmm.
learn from a lady side because I was a single dad. I raised my kids from my daughter being from the age of 1 up to high school at 14.
Wow.
So they had nothing but male, like nothing but testosterone in the house. And when you meet my daughter, you could tell she very, very much testosterone. She runs stuff.
Okay.
And that's why I say it's very important to have a woman, a mother and a father in a kid's life
Yeah.
because
As
you're going to get,
responsible.
and me and my ex understood that. We were like, even though we don't live together anymore, and she makes a joke, she said, you're the greatest father ever, but you're a terrible husband.
I take it.
So that's what we said. But we understood that it takes both parents to make the kids positive and good. So she explained to me, she was like, well, your daughter didn't take that very good. You need to talk to her and break it down more that you didn't mean what she thought. So when I went back to her and I explained to her, oh, I love you to death just like you love me to death. And it wasn't the fact that I won't mess with you no more or you just not being in my life and I just can move on. I was just trying to be that strong father to say, don't be doing crazy stuff, and I'm just gonna allow you to, because we see that with single moms. These boys do all kind of crazy mess, and the mother still be like, "Oh, I love you, baby. I love you, baby," and he doing 45 years in prison for some dumb stuff. So that's what it was. So I learned from that to be more careful with my words when it comes to my daughters.
Yeah, I get that. I get that. I mean, it definitely makes a lot of sense because yeah, like you said, you hated the term because I said so, which was that's my thing. That's I used to say, because that's what we got growing up, you know, and I had to figure, well, that's what they said, that's the answer. Because sometimes, even though I tell them like it's okay, not to say to question me, but it's okay to ask questions. But sometimes it'd be like a bad time. You tell them something, and they'll question you, and it's like, yo, because I said so. But I do explain this is why, not do it. You know what I'm saying? But I agree. You definitely gotta be more, just communicate more. And these kids are different. You know, your kids are probably a little older, but yeah, these kids are different. So we definitely gotta communicate a lot more now. It's not just I said so or because. You know?
And then I want to add, I just thought one of my sons, something popped in my mind too, and I think brothers should understand this because I learned it. Boys love their mothers, love their moms. So you got to be careful how you come at your ex-wife or your wife, because the sons is like, that's my mom, yo. Don't be going off on my moms, you know? So me and my ex had issues at one time. And, you know, we wasn't liking each other at that point. But my son wasn't liking the way I was coming at her. So that's another thing you realize you just can't come off on a son's mother, because boys got love for their mothers, you know.
Of course. Yeah, you don't want that smoke either. Yeah. My son, but you know, we don't even argue in front of him. And if we do kind of get a little loud, he leaves the room, which I hate to, you know, I don't want him to have that feeling, but we don't, if we do get into it, we don't argue around him. But yeah, nah, definitely. And I respect that too, because you want your son to protect his moms by any means. You know what I'm saying? You definitely want that. I'll get right to it. My three quick questions. So got three quick questions for you. The
I'm
first
ready.
one, give me, it could be one or more, in no particular order, your favorite TV dad.
I would say Mr. Evans from Good Times.
I'm still scared of him.
And then
Still scared.
now brothers might think I'm crazy what I'm about to say. You know, I really like the Brady Bunch dad,
Okay.
because the fact he took in a wife with 3 kids,
Yeah.
and he already had 3 kids, and you know, took on a responsibility. So it showed, like, you know how guys go, "Oh, she got too many babies, yo. I can't be messing with her. She's a baby." But I guess if they understand what to do, that was cool. So I like that. Because I didn't want to give you typical. You know, I hear people always say, you know,
My
Uncle
top three.
Phil, you know, Bill Cosby. So I said, okay, who got? Because I watched the episode when you asked that. So I said, let me come up with some different people. And another one. Now I'm old. I'm an old head. Leave It to Beaver's
Okay.
pop.
Can't get a wife in that, frat.
You know. So and then let me think of and yeah, you know, and Bill Cosby, he definitely got to be in there too. Phil, because he gave us that vibe that we all ain't got to be from the hood to have, you know, and was a wife. Cause I used to hear that stupid mess about people. Man, that's fantasy. He a doctor, she a lawyer. They got a family. That's normal stuff. You know, if you're a lawyer, you're gonna marry probably a doctor or a lawyer or somebody, because we kind of connect with people that we're kind of similar to. You know.
Yes.
So.
Yes. Yeah, career minded. No, I feel you. And also, just to let you know, also, honestly, one of my favorite TV dads is Jack Pierce. He was a white guy, and he's a father in This Is Us.
Okay.
And to me, he was just, not that he was perfect, because no father's perfect, but he was trying his best to make sure everybody was good, you know?
Was that the dad? He was a single dad. Was that the one?
No, This Is Us. He had a family. They had they had triplets. One of the triplets died, so they adopted a black kid. It was born the same day. So they had three kids, a boy, a girl, and then they adopted a black boy.
Okay.
But yeah, I really like, you know, watching the show. Good show. I liked how he got down and he did his best to just and he treated everybody equally. And like I said, did his best to make everybody happy, you know. So that was one of my favorites. And he being a white dad, I said if I was
Yeah,
white, I would want him to be
yeah,
my father.
yeah. And I was like, and the key word you said TV dad. So like they did
Yeah.
they dad. You know, you ain't say it had to be a color.
Nah, not at all. Not at all. No question. If they in
Yeah.
it and they doing what they supposed to do, or definitely appreciative of them. So celebrity lookalike. Who would you say just celebrity lookalike? Who do people say you remind them of or look like?
One person I think everybody always used to say, Theo from the Huxtables.
Yeah.
And now I like this one, but I'm not gonna. I ain't gonna lie. I don't think I look like him. But I remember
Okay.
one of my homeboys' daughter was watching LL Cool J on that Gap commercial, and she
Exactly.
was like, "Yeah, hey, that look like Mr. Abdullah."
Yeah, hell yeah, I'll take that too.
You know, so those are the two I can remember.
Okay. It's funny too, because it's weird, but that the guy Shamar Moore, I don't get
Mm-hmm.
gas, but I have people tell me I look like him, which I don't think so. I just think we got the same eyebrows. That's
All
it.
right,
But I'll take it. You know what I'm saying? I'll take it.
definitely. As long as
All
it
right,
ain't
so
nobody, no ugly dude, right?
yeah, or somebody who owe you money. That's all we say. When people are like, oh, you remind me of. I'm like, look, as long as that person owe you money, you know what I'm saying? I don't want no problems.
Definitely.
But my last quick question, and this one, you know, it could be as long as you like or whatever you gotta say, get off your chest. So just give me good advice for any father.
Yeah.
Something that's very important to you.
One, communicate with your kid 100%. B, give them some time. You know, I think a lot of times people think it's just about paying the bills, but if your son is in any type of activity, your daughter any type of activity, take the time and watch. Because they're only going to be young once.
Yes, you're right. So
Because
right.
they're going to be in the stage like you as a man or as a parent. You're going to be in the stage I'm in now. I'm an empty nester. Ain't nobody up in this big house but me right now.
Yeah.
But I'm glad that I did take the time. I watched my sons play football. I watched one son play football. I watched another son play basketball. I was a cheerleading dad. My daughter did cheerleading, all types, high school, football, basketball, the kind where they flip and stuff. She was doing all that. So I think kids appreciate their parents being involved in what they do. I don't care what it is. Like, because even my youngest son, my ex-wife would always say, "You got to find out something that you and Musa do alike," because he would like some time too. So, but me and him didn't start getting closer to now because we're more into stuff now. Even like his
Okay.
musical taste was different when he was young, and now he's kind of getting closer to my taste. So we
Okay.
kind of vibe off. So I say definitely at time being giving kids time.
Yeah. Yeah. I
Yeah,
mean that doesn't sound like something you could force. And it sucks that if you guys weren't really bonding, because I didn't really have too much to communicate over. But yeah, you definitely can't force that.
yeah, definitely. Um, and just show them some love, give them some
Yes,
hugs,
sir.
tell them you love them, because that's one thing that I was bad with until my ex wife got married to her new husband. And homeboy, he a lover, yo. He loves saying "I love you," giving people hugs and all kinds of like he the bushy one out of
Okay.
the two fathers, right? But I get the benefit of what he doing, you know. So I say, okay, definitely got to put that more in the rotation,
Into the
showing love.
arsenal. Yes. Yeah. And
And
I do both.
yeah,
Yeah, I do
and I
both.
took something from my dad that he used to do. Anytime we got off the phone, he would say, "Love you much," and then I would reply, "Love you more." And
Okay.
that's what me and my kids do when we talk on the phone now.
I like that.
So yeah, love, time, and be patient.
Communicate.
Yeah, and communicate.
Good stuff. Good stuff. I like it. I like it a lot. Actually, yeah, I learned something from it. That's what I like about doing this too. I learned a lot from how other people, deal and handle their kids. And as far as seeing just being active and going to your kids' sporting events, like I feel bad. I feel bad for people who don't, because we coach my son's basketball game. He's 7, and yo, like this dude would be so happy. He's feeling great. I feel great. He he hit a big shot at the game. 7. Now he run down the court like this. Steph Curry. Like this kid is a trip. But I feel bad for people who miss out on those opportunities to watch him grow. Just be happy, just participate.
Definitely.
But Frat, I appreciate you coming through for me, and doing this, and taking your time out to sit down and chop it up and be transparent with me. Yeah. Thank you.
No problem at all. I'll be trying to pass it on to our other frat brothers. Just a little time, it goes a long way.
Yes,
Either
sir.
hit any frat watching it, hit the like, hit the subscribe, help the brother get big, because stuff like this is so important. People don't realize this keeps the community strong, because you getting positive stuff, because we always get negative stuff. Yeah. But this is positive, so it don't take nothing but to press that little button. It don't take nothing but 10 minutes. Like I put in our brother chat line, I said, give a brother 10 minutes of your time. Just watch the video for 10 minutes. So it should.
And I agree with you. My thing is too is like, look, I just feel like it might be the greatest podcast, but it's at least not just bullshit content. You know what I mean? It's evergreen. We all go through this, and then it's a podcast about Black fathers, but you could be white and it teach you how or why your father act the way he acted or did what he did. So I think anybody can relate. But
definitely, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate you letting me be on the show.
Of course, of course. Thanks for the report. You have a good one. Appreciate you.
All right, go Mob.
I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me. Yeah. And whenever I'm sad, they can always cheer me up.
I love you, Dad.
Hey wolves, could you lend me your ears? I'd like to open up. My therapist ain't here. I've been a dad since I was 21. I've been blessed with 3 beautiful daughters and I got no sons. When I was young, I wondered how come, but I know now. Toxic masculinity would have been passed down. Real men don't cry unless someone has died. Pick your head up, hold your tears in with pride. Hashtag girl dad, so glad when I'm sad you all could cheer me up. I always will have your bags, Leah, Jade and Lola. No one would come before you. You all are getting older. That's 3 different personas, and I love daddy-daughter day. Each one of y'all get a date with me individually. My blueberry, Jay, Star, and Juicy. We could always play video games or watch a scary movie. Hey, I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me. Yeah. And whenever I'm sad, they can always cheer me up. I love being a dad. Hey, I just have to say, my kids are the best thing that happened to me. Yeah. And whenever I'm sad, they can always cheer me up. I love being a dad.